Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to talk about the average line. The average line in Tableau is a powerful tool that enhances the data visualization by spotlighting the central tendencies within the dataset. It serves as a reference point which simplifies the data interpretation and enables the insightful comparisons. This tool is rooted in statistical concept, primarily focusing on representing the central value, often the mean of a set, or integrating an average line into your visualization, which visually emphasizes the crucial reference points. Now, the average line's role extends to unraveling data trends and patterns, which, when plotted alongside the individual data points, it provides an immediate basis for the comparisons. Viewers can quickly discern how specific data points relate to an average, which offers insights into the data distribution. Tableau's versatility shines in the customization options for average lines. User can tailor its appearance by adjusting its position, style, color, and labels, aligning it with the aesthetics and need of the visualization. If you are trying to create the average lines, which are frequently used in conjunctions with the benchmarks or the target values, they tend to offer an efficient way to access whether the actual data meets or surpasses the actual goal. By overlaying the average line onto your data set, you can easily gauge the performance against the benchmarks, which makes it evident whether the objectives are met or not. Tableau's interactive feature tandem with average lines enrich the user experience features. Like, for example, you can add the tooltips and filters, which enables the user to delve the deeper into the dataset, which fosters some interactive data exploration also. This tool finds application across the diverse industries. In finance, it aids in evaluating stock performance related to the market average. In healthcare, it can signify the patient health metrics, which concerns the established norms. In sales and marketing, it facilitates the assessment of performance against the say targets. Incorporating the average lines into the Tableau visualization can simplify the data understanding and support the effective decision making. Whether you are scrutinizing the sales figures, evaluating the product performance, or analyzing the dataset with a significant central values. The average line would serve a visual guide and enhance the data interpretation and decision making process. Now, let's go to the Tableau screen and see how we can create these average lines and what are the different customization options that are present for these average lines. So we are in our Tableau screen. To create an average line, you can go in the analytics section and you can see over here I have this second option, which is of average line. Now, let's try to create one. Let's say you are trying to find out what is the distribution of sales in every subcategory. So to look at that, I'll double click on the subcategory and I'll double click on the sales. It would give me a text table. To convert this text table into a horizontal bar chart or vertical bar chart, I can go in the show me menu and I can click on these horizontal bars. Let's try to arrange the data in the ascending or descending way. Right now, I'm arranging it in the descending order. So this is giving me the highest sales first and the lowest sales last. Now I want to find what is the average sales of all these subcategories. For that, what I'll do is I'll drag this average line here, and there would be multiple options coming in front of me. First option is table, the second is pane, the third is cell. We will look at these options one by one. Let's first go with the table option. After you have dragged it in the table option, it would create the average of the whole subcategories for you. That means whatever number of subcategories are there, the total sales would be divided by those number of subcategories, which would be giving me the average of these subcategories. Now, let's say if you want to compare the average of all these subcategories and which subcategory is performing better than the average, you can easily do it with the help of this average line. If you go on the top of this average line, it is showing me that the average for all these subcategory wise sales is 7,43,666. And I can easily see these are some of the categories which are exceeding the average, and these are the ones which are underperforming. Now, this average line would be performing in such a way that whenever you are making an average line, there would be someone or some category over here which would be definitely going behind the average line. So no matter if you are trying to increase, let's say the sales of labels, if you try to increase the sales of labels and you saying that it is not performing so well, so this average line would again go forward a bit. So it would be very rare scenario that some of the products would be surpassing these lines which are at the bottom. So you can easily try to identify the brand over here. Now, after identifying the trend, let's say if you edit this average line, and if you want to apply different formatting options on top of it, how can you do it? You can do it by right click on it and choosing the format option. And on the left hand side, you would be able to see multiple formatting options that are available for these average line. The first option is of line. If you want to increase or decrease the thickness of this line, you can choose the options from over here. And here I'm having the option of different line types. I don't want to see this average line just in the form of a solid line. Let me try to convert it into the dotted form. I can do it with the help of these options. And I can also try to change the color. Let's say I'm keeping the color as this shade of red. Or you can try to increase the opacity of it also. If you are increasing the opacity, it would be showing you as the darker color instead of the lighter color. After increasing the thickness or after changing the line type of this line, and increase the thickness a bit more. Now it is easily visible and it would be easier for you to analyze the trend. There are multiple other options also available in this. There is this fill above option. We have already discussed this fill above option in the constant lines, where if we are choosing any color, the part which is above this line would be colored in a different way. If you are choosing this fill below color, the part which is in the below side would be colored in a different way. So these are some of the options that you can apply in this average line. Then we have this reference line label. If you want to apply any kind of label in this reference line, you can do it. Right now, the label is set as the average only, and I'm not able to see the values. If you want to see the values, you can go in the edit option and you can choose a different value over here. We'll be talking about it in some time. Then the option of alignment is over there. Right now, the alignment is set to custom. Let's say I want to change the alignment of this average lines text over here, wherever the average is written. You want to be it over here or somewhere in the middle or on the left hand side, on the right hand side. You can control all these things from this alignment option. The horizontal alignment can be controlled from this option. The vertical alignment can be controlled from this option. So let's say in the vertical direction, I want it to be in the center. And in the horizontal, let's say I want it to be in the left hand side or center on the right hand side. I can easily do it. If you want to change the direction of this text, you can do it with the help of this direction option. Let's say I want to rotate it upwards. I can easily do it. Let's try to bring it down for now. And now it would be easily visible. If you want to see any other text instead of this average over here, what you can do is you can click on this line and go in the edit option, and you would be seeing multiple editing options over here. When you were selecting that average line, you might have seen that we chose the table option. If you want to change that part, you can select it over here. So I'm having the P and Cell option over here also. Suppose if you have made that line, but now you don't want to see it in the entire table. You only want to see it in single pane. What you can do is you can choose per pane option from over here. The line which is coming over here is coming on the basis of average. How do I know it? Because I have chose the average line and it is also showing me that the value is sum of the sales and it is doing the average on the top of it. The aggregation is done on the average. Now, in the label, instead of computation, if you want to see the actual value, you can choose to see the value over here and it would be showing you the exact value. If you want to see any other text instead of it, you can choose the custom text and you can enter the text over here. Right now, I'll be keeping it as the computation only. And these are some of the options in which you can try to edit this average line. Now let's talk about any other kind of average line. Let's say instead of this whole table, if I'm making multiple panes and if I'm taking the average line on the top of it, how can I do it? So let me create average line again. So for that, what I'll do is, again, I'm going with the subcategory wise. This time I'm going with the profit option. And in the show me, I'll convert it into the horizontal bars. Let's arrange the data in the descending order and let's try to create an average line now. If I'm dragging this average line, again, it is asking these options, table, pane, and cell. Let's see what will happen if I choose pane. But before choosing this pane, I have to make multiple panes. How can I do it? So right now I know the data is taken in the form of subcategory wise profit. So there is this single pane. But if I want to make multiple panes, I can choose the categories also, and I can just put it ahead of this subcategory. And why would I make multiple panes? Because I know this subcategory consists the hierarchy of this category. They both are in hierarchy. Every category has these subcategories inside of it. Now let's try to fit the data in the entire view. After fitting in the entire view, I'm again going in the analytics option, dragging this average line this time into the panes. Now I would be able to see the pane wise average. Over here, if you go in this average, you can see the average of this pane is 71,301. And for the other pane, it is 57,608. So if you want to see the different subcategory wise averages, you can do it. And this time the data would be aggregated in the form of these categories over here. So I'm able to see the average and it belongs to this particular category over here. If I again drag this average line and this time I'm trying to keep it on the table, you can see the average line is coming on the base of this whole table. So these are some of the ways in which you can try to put the average line on each of the panes and it would be giving you a different average. Or you can try to put the average line on the top of the whole table itself. If I try to remove these lines, let's try to remove these lines first. Now let's drag this average line again on the cell. So you can see on the top of every bar, it is giving you this line. It is because this average of this whole bar is that last value itself. That is why it is taking the value itself. So this line is of no use for right now if I want to see the average when I'm having these multiple values. You can try to change the color and size or what are the labels are showing on the top of it by just going on that line and clicking the edit option and the format option as well. And in this way, you will be able to edit these lines. Now let's talk about a different option. What if I'm having any sort of, let's say, line chart? What can I do? So for the line chart, I know I need some date view. So this time I'm taking the order date and I'm going with a profit. What is the profit that is happening with these order dates? Let's try to convert it into this line chart. I'm taking the continuous line chart in this case. Again, if I want to create this average line over here, I can drag this average line over here and I can add it to the table. It would give me the average. So it is giving me the average of profit wise. And this is happening when I'm taking the data in the continuous form. Now, what if it was a discrete chart? Would the values be still same? Let's try to find out. So I'm going to the new sheet. I'm this time clicking again on the order date and the sales, and I'm changing it to the discrete line. Let's try to fit it in the entire view. Again, I'm dragging this average lines over here and fitting it over here. Now you can go in this sheet 3 and sheet 4, and you can see over here I have taken profit. Sorry, my bad. I'll take the sales over here also. So let's say I'm taking in this one, and I'm again taking this average lines. Now you can see the average over here is 3,66,864. If I go on the other sheet, it is giving me the same value. But what if it happened if I'm trying to increase it and I'm trying to drilling down in that particular date field? Let's say this time I'm taking the quarters over here and take the quarters over here. Now try to compare these two lines. After making these two lines, you have to compare these two lines. The overall average would be still remain the same. So here I am with the overall average. But you can see the average for each year is also shown me. And this is just like that we did for the per pane wise. So in this way, you can try to create some continuous charts and the discrete charts and try to put the average line on the top of it and see the values, how they are differing. In the continuous one, while the average line was showing for the whole period of time, if I'm choosing this discrete one, over here, I can see this average line is also showing me pane wise. So I can easily compare the value of the average, whether that particular year is going above the average or it is performing under average. So this was all about the average line. In the next session, we'll be trying to cover the trend lines in Tableau. Thank you.